Good morning. It's a positive start to trade on Thursday morning, and in fact this is par for the course. We were expecting this after the cues that we got from overseas. And what were those cues? They were essentially on the back of the result of the FOMC meeting. The Federal Reserve Chairman talked about the fact that the interest rates had been kept unchanged in that very narrow band, very close to 0%. And in fact, the bond buying program was left unaffected. But more than that, it was a conversation about what happens from here on out. The Federal Reserve Chair said that there was a conversation between officials, there was a deep dive, so to speak, with regard to at what point would the Fed be comfortable with rolling back its bond buying program. And that point has not come just yet, is what was said. So that is what a lot of investors are taking heart from. There will still be a significant amount of money that gets pumped into the economy in terms of monetary support that is being provided, and that means easy monetary policy is here to stay, at least for now. There is conversations, of course, there are conversations, of course, about the improving economic growth in the country, in the US, but still that tapering is a way off. So what's happening in India? You have a positive start, like I said. You have the Nifty 50 that's gaining about 0.3% at this juncture, and you have the broader markets that are just a tad bit outperforming, not by much today. In fact, you have the small cap index that's gaining about 0.4% or thereabouts at this point. Among the sectors, you have the likes of Nifty Bank that is up about 0.4%. Auto is down about 0.1%, but Tata Motors is outperforming. You have the IT sector that is doing particularly well. You have metals that is doing particularly well. Nifty Metal up as much as 1.7%, clearly the outperformer in trade today. But let's talk about the Nifty 50 then. And in fact, you have the breadth that is much better than it has been in the recent past, but still not completely in favor of the advances. About 28 advances on the Nifty 50 right now. Right on the top of the list, Tata Motors gaining over 3% right now. JSW Steel, like I mentioned, the steel companies are doing well. Tata Steel also up as much as 1.6%. Hindalco as much as 2.2%. HCL Tech, Tech Mahindra, Titan, some of the other counters that are doing well in trade today. Among the losers, you have Maruti Suzuki, which was a terrible miss on all fronts for its Q1 performance. Its margins took a hit on account of raw material costs. Sales, of course, were impacted by the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. That stock is down as much as 3% in trade today. Power Grid, Cipla, Nestle India, Britannia, Eicher Motors, some of the other counters that are in the red, but not too much. In terms of the overarching scenario here in India, of course, earnings has been in focus, but the other thing has been the selling by foreign institutions. In yesterday's session as well, you had foreign institutions sell as much as 2,274 or 75 crore rupees of equity on a net basis, and you only had buying of about 920 crore by the domestic institutions on a net basis. So there's clearly a gulf, and that is what is leading to quite a bit of the downward pressure on the equity markets here in India. We'll have to see if that continues. Of course, the overarching sentiment in the globe is that the capital markets in China are being roiled, in Hong Kong, on account of the regulatory policies there. Whether some of those flows start coming into India is a question perhaps for the next couple of weeks and months. But at this moment, we're seeing quite a bit of selling pressure, and choppy trade is par for the course today.